Well, like I mentioned earlier, there's just been so much going on and craziness and chaos in the world, trying to find a new rhythm and stride. Hasn't been easy, has it? I mean, for me personally, I sure might be somewhat easier for some of you, but for me, not so much. But finding a new groove, when we started the series, and Pastor Kelly talking about finding a new groove with God, about the chaos, trying to find that stride on a new and steady path. And Michael and Madison have shared with us in videos about their walk and their strides in finding a groove, and how that ties into their daily life when their activities, with cross country to being a drum major, and just how important it is to find that groove and that stride and staying consistent with it, and how different things in today have kind of upset some of that for them as well too. But one of the things, as Pastor Kelly was talking about, is prayer daily. And are you willing to let God set your pace? From Daniel 6, verse 10, when he was talking about all the things that were happening in the kingdom where Daniel was, and having to pray to the king, and Daniel still said, I'm keeping my groove. I'm going and praying at least 3 times a day. Big step. Different against that norm that was being asked and dictated to. So up on the screen, you'll find one of Pastor Kelly's quotes, and I'm going to quote him a few times here. When life is crazy and out of sync, your groove with God is more important than you think. So that's from Pastor Kelly. So getting us in this groove with finding a new groove. And his second part was talking about finding a new groove with friends and family. And how out of sync are we when we take into our daily lives and activities, whether it's work, for these kids going to school, like Michael and Madison, having to go to practices here and there, and events and travel and everything. It's hard to sit down for a meal, isn't it? Hard to take that time and sit down together as a family unit and enjoy that time together, to find out what's going on in your day, in seeing what's going on. So eating together with someone improves so many things, and actually being together with another, where 2 or more are gathered, you're having church. Dinner church. What a concept, huh? So another quote from Kelly was, when chaos reigns and life is flawed, a simple meal with another can show you God. Amen. So in the third part, when we go on, and this really gets me. You'll hear about that in a few minutes. When others get annoying, wow, what a part into there. And there's another screen up here that Kelly had showed when he was talking about follow signs. Follow them. Remember, he started talking about that being in the supermarket, and this way, and how simple it is, right? Most of the time. So it gets under your skin. A spouse, a child, a friend. There are so many things that can allow us to get frustrated, but it's how we act and react to it, right? I mean, that's the whole point. When we get annoyed, it's ourselves. It's ourselves being human and getting upset. So we have to really focus on understand that the image of God is in the other person, and it's just not about self. Something that I've struggled with. Finding a new groove for your world. Our lives have a tremendous impact on those around us. We need to find that groove. Regular prayer. Sitting with someone or others to enjoy dinner and church with. Follow the signs that at times when we are annoyed with others, maybe we need to act and be a little better to catch ourselves and see Jesus in them. Waving at someone can make a difference too. Kelly shared a message the other night when we were out at the drive-through prayer, and that was a moment I was with Edie in August, and just saying, hey, come out, you can have fun, just wave your hand at the cars going by. So I said, hey, look, and sure enough, as Kelly said, that car slowed down, turned around the block, came back in, and he said, I am so glad you guys were here. I need prayer. Would you pray for me? So we never know what examples and how we can be, but we can certainly show God to others, can't we? Be like Jesus. So let's start at the first series. How many of you have been praying and moving forward with more prayer in your life on a daily basis? How many of you have been praying the group prayer? Seeing a few hands go up. Well, I can't say that I've been doing it daily. I have not, and I fall into that category of falling short on that. It's just been hard on that side of things trying to commit to prayer for me on the group prayer. But he gave us a quote again saying, when life is crazy and out of sync, your groove with God is more important than you think. And I do, like I said, seem to forget that at days. And that's part of what's working in me. But now I've really started doing something more so, and that's going into the phone on a Bible app. How many of you have a phone? How many of you have a tablet handy into that? If you have it, you can hold it up and wave it up and say, guess what? Here's a little challenge. Here's a challenge, folks. Get your app. Get your loaded app, YouVersion. Many of us here at the church, the staff and that are joined in with a YouVersion app, and it's a daily devotion. And it's really been a benefit to me to be able to go into it and know that I am seeking God in that. I mean, it's a good challenge, right? What else do we use these things for right now? Besides, hey, what's up? Or texting into there. Probably our biggest thing is what? Facebook. We're looking at mainstream media and different things on that. So I challenge you, instead of constantly going on the phone, checking and looking and being a part of social media and messaging and putting our thoughts and opinions down on Facebook or whatever else, to spend some time with this in the Bible. Because I know certainly don't let Facebook and other pressures cut into your prayer time. Pray regularly, no matter what, for prayer is your lifeline to God. So the more time we spend in prayer, the more connected we are. And what if we made that Bible app, and better yet, what if we made the Bible more of a priority than we do Facebook or other avenues? Quite a challenge. And it has been for me. Well, who here doesn't like to eat? Okay, nobody. Good. All right. I think we all agree we like to do that, right? Certainly love to prepare food and consume that. And that was a part of, taking time out and spending with the family and friend. And as he talked about that, also thought about some of the things as I've done in the past and trying to make meals and do that. I've had more successes than failures, but there's been a few meals that, even though these hands with love sought out and tried the best and putting ingredients together and putting a lot of effort into it, there were a few meals that I wasn't able to serve my family. Oh, heck, I'll just tell you. I even made with meatloaf once and tried to put it down, and the dog didn't even eat it. So, Kelly and Shannon, when they sat up here on stage, they were talking and sharing with us how important it truly is, whether at work or school or whatever we're doing, to not get so bogged down in the day and life happenings that we don't take time to sit down with a family or friend and make place in our week for that, sitting down for that meal. I've been trying to take some time out, and it's mostly been on a Sunday with Jen making a dinner, and we've been sitting together and taking some family time together, being very intentional with that. At least one day a week with Bradley over there, trying to say, hey, let's do something special. And I thank God He's chosen golf, because I get to go out on the golf course and enjoy that time with Him. Very much quality time. And then, of course, 2 guys after golfing, we get to go get something to eat. So that's been very special for me right now in my life, and I'll explain a little more about my life here in a few. And Kelly had told that other quote that it's really quite a poet, and I know he's just been wonderful in sharing it. When chaos reigns and life is flawed, a simple meal with another can show us God. Breaking bread with another, what a beautiful time. To share a meal with someone. This expression means more than just eating. It's sharing a sense of brotherhood with someone or a group of people. It's a significant event that fosters some meaningful connection and cooperation. Eating together with someone improves so many things. And actually being with another, again, is being church. Dinner church together. And there's my not-so-favorite one, finding a new groove when others get annoying. How many of you are finding things and situations in life more annoying today than ever before? I certainly am. We're all caught up in so much change in our life, and first of all, to admit, who likes change? And when this keeps happening, not just in a month, in a week, it is daily, right? There is something new or changing every day. That can get pretty annoying and frustrating, can't it? There's even toxic people, selfish people who only talk about themselves. Self-righteous, unsolicited advice givers. Oh, those annoying people on Facebook. People who you would wish would just go away. Well, some other examples of annoying to you, to me. Hey, how about you use your turn signal? Life's already a mystery. Maybe you just went through a red light. What does that mean? Stop, right? Man, I'm not in a bad mood. You're just annoying me. Oh my. Why isn't the garbage taken out? It's not going to happen itself. Oh, it's your turn to feed the pets, isn't it? Well, the dishes aren't going to get clean on their own, are they? And no, you can't put them down so the dogs can clean them. That's not considered washing. Have you ever heard some of those? Maybe even thought them or said them yourselves, right? Well, let me tell you, it's confession time. A lot of what you just heard was me. I have a little growing up yet to do in life. So I've been through some changes. Last few years have been a struggle for me personally. My mom was diagnosed with cancer. That same time, Jennifer had masses found on her kidney and some spots on the other. My mom passed away. Then Jennifer had her kidney removed. Thank God that was benign. Then a few short months later, my mother-in-law wound up having a massive heart attack, having open heart surgery. And things just kept happening and going on. And more recently, I'm separated. I've been having those issues in my life, those selfish issues. When things go, they just keep going. And sometimes, even though we may be walking and talking and trying to share with God, things personally inside are still overwhelming. Hard to get that groove. Hard to get that beat. Hard to keep a rhythm. Certainly hasn't been easy. I've been thinking a lot about myself. Oh, poor Allan. I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me, please. What I'm asking for is prayer. Pray for my family and me. I would greatly appreciate that. And as I start thinking of self, I do think, oh, poor Allan. Why is this happening to Allan? It's life happening. And go through life, and we don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. And then Wednesday night, oh, it was great. I needed that. I was so lifted up Wednesday night. Got to share with beautiful people. We were talking, rejoicing, and praying out in the parking lot. And then 3:35 Thursday morning, I get a phone call. The church is on fire. I heard that phone ring. I jumped up, grabbed it. That's what I was told. I threw on shoes and came down. Spent a good part of the day here, lining things up, trying to do things to get stuff in a row. But I kept thinking about self. Oh, poor Allan. All this work to put in and go in and make improvements and make changes and help the church. Why a fire? Why did this have to happen? After all I've done. I felt so bad. I had beautiful people coming out. Allan, it's okay. It's all right. When I got home that night, I had my in-laws that asked me over. She came over, gave me a great big hug. Glad you're okay. Wow. Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. It wasn't about self. It wasn't about poor Allan, no. Oh my gosh, and I thought, what if Shelley had gone down there? Turned on a light switch. Eddie or Cheryl or one of the shared table crew, or the whole crew together on a Saturday, and something had happened. But no, it happened at 3:35 in the morning. Everyone was okay. The responders did a fabulous job. Life happens. Things happen. One of the biggest things I know in getting a groove in my life right now is getting rid of that self. Saying, God, take it, please. It's yours to deal with, yours to handle, and you will do it well. Doesn't He do it well? Our amazing God, when we let Him gain that control. So I started thinking again, and poor self was in the way. And I'm going to finish out with telling you about not myself, but about a gentleman that penned a hymn, that put it to paper in spite of it all. And I'm going to share his story with you, which mine pales in comparison to what he went through. Horatio Spafford. Back in 1871, he lost his son. A few months later, the Chicago fire erupted, wiping out his business, wiping out many of his personal investments in property and other things. So his life was going crazy, right? He was just trying to get things started again and online, and the family made a trip to Europe. He had to stay behind to take care of a few business things, and they went on without him. A few days after, he received a message from his wife. Survived alone. All 4 of his daughters were gone and lost. The beauty of it is that he was going over. You can imagine in the old days, remember those steamships into that and the motors and the groove, so to speak, of those engines humming and churning. And in spite of it all, Horatio put down the words, "All is well with my soul." And we've been playing that a lot here these past few weeks during service. And it just resonated with me. And it stuck out in knowing that story, that there was somebody that, in spite of what was happening, kept a groove, kept moving forward. And I'd like to share with you one of the verses out of that. I can't see it very well. My eyes are full of tears right now, but you can read it up there. When peace like a river overrunneth. Yeah, I can't see it with my... I'm sorry. But take a moment and read that up. It's up there on the screen. How joyous words in spite of what was happening in his life that he put down. And this was on the boat as he was going over to get his wife. In spite of it all, find your groove. God is always with you. And we do need to seek Him. And I finish with Isaiah 40, verse 31. By those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Go with God. Let Him set your pace. Let Him be your groove. Amen.